Hey everyone, Troy Richardson here. We're going to demonstrate how to use a dye penetrant test to test your springs. We sell springs. We're the Zipline braking system. You have Troy's trolleys, which are the auto braking trolleys that have never been in an accident. Our trolleys are safer, and they're on the Park City Mountain Resort, or the technology is there and has kept the Park City Mountain Resort in Park City, Utah safe for over 23 years. But this dye penetrant kit is a very good kit. It follows the standards, and you want one that does. What's inside of it is you got your instructions, and you have your cleaner, your penetrant, your developer in that order, and then you can clean it again. I owned AA Machining and Welding, and we were a national board certified company. We welded on stainless, we welded on regular steel, pressure vessels, boilers, and we use dye penetrant tests like this to check for cracks. Let's open the box, see what we've got. Items. You have the penetrant, which is this stuff here. We're not going to use that till last. Then you have the cleaner. We usually start with that. We're going to read the instructions. Then we have the developer, and then we have another cleaner that we'll just have to see how this goes together. But follow the instructions. I am the manufacturer of these springs, these telescoping springs, and they are for Ziplines. We're going to do some testing. They've had these springs for about 4 years. We're just going to see where they're at on the dye penetrant scale and see if there's any cracks. So the first thing you're going to notice in here is we have pre-cleaning instructions. So what that means is we're going to spray the pre-cleaner. We're going to start with this, and we're going to spray it on. Obviously, I've taken the springs off of the Zipline, and I just have them hanging with a small wire. Ideally, stainless wire is best, but it helps clean it. The developer is designed to get deep into your spring and to see if there's a crack somewhere in there. And so while this is drying for another minute or so, we're going to wait, and then we're going to wipe it off. It's always good to have gloves. I mean, this penetrant's already got on me a little bit, and it should be able to come off pretty easy, but why do it if you can just get you some rubber gloves here. Towel here, and we're just going to wipe this off. Now you're going to do the best you can to get all the heavy red stuff off, and you're just going to run that around. I would just spin it around. It looks like we got a little bit more up here. I mean, just use the rag to just take it off, because you're going to want to get this stuff off. It's going to leave a little bit of a red residue on your spring, but you're going to just want to spin it around, put your hands inside the spring, and just wipe the spring. As you rotate it, looks like the easiest. So you might find an easier way. The big thing is just to get as much of this to turn off before we spray the developer, because the developer is going to show us where the cracks are. And so what happens with this penetrant is it goes into these steel, and it'll find cracks, and then it'll stay there. And so you want to try and just wipe this off the best you can. Getting this, I mean, I'd run at least twice through there just to get as much off, because if you don't get it all off, or most of it off, the developer that is white normally turns red in spots, and that gives you a little bit of a harder time trying to figure out if there are cracks in this. I highly doubt there's any cracks in this. It has been out in the weather, but it hasn't seen a lot of action. But we're just demonstrating how we would do a dye penetrant test on a barrel-shaped spring that we manufacture at zipsafe.org. So now I got most of that off, and my little spring hook has kind of wandered its way down. See if I can get that back up. We can actually probably put it this way and be just fine. And so here we are. Now we're going to take our developer. This stuff here, we want to read the instructions, and it's showing the application after the dye penetrant has been removed, and we've done that. We've got as much off as we can. We're going to spray this on, and I've done it in the past, and so we're just going to spray this on. And then we're going to look for cracks. You want to get in a good ventilated area. And these cracks will show up. if there's a crack, it's going to show up. It looks like one of our springs fell off, just as a demonstration. But I would put as much developer on, and then we're going to read the instructions and see how long it takes for this to develop. Right now it looks like our developer layer is, usually doesn't take this developer very long to dry. And what we're going to be looking for is things like these inclusions that are showing up red. Looks like it'll start appearing in 30 seconds. Looks like it can last up to 10 minutes. So this is a timely process. When you're inspecting your springs, you're going to want to take your time, make sure they're good, because this is your safety system. This is your ability to keep riders safe and keep you out of a lawsuit. Use the same thing as what I'm using here. I'm using a GoPro, and I'm just in videoing this. We can store data, then everybody knows that you did what you were supposed to be doing. You did your penetrant test, you sprayed your developer. Looks like it's going to stay pink, and we're going to wait, and we're going to look for cracks. Now we're waiting for it to show us anything that's showing up, and I'm looking here, I'm not seeing any kind of inclusions. You can see a small, like right here, you're seeing something, but that's just, you know, surface. You don't, a crack would actually show up very distinctly. You'd see a ring around the spring, and we're not seeing that on this. We're going to look it over, and like I said, use digital data collection. This is much better than just using a piece of paper that you check, oh yeah, we did it. You know, and look inside here. I mean, we're seeing some just little red dots, and they might be just pits, you know, from this being out in the elements. And so what we're really looking for is some kind of a ring around this that shows us that that spring has been compromised. And you can measure that, you know, see how you've got about 80% of a crack into the spring that is acceptable. And I would just monitor it. I don't know if I would allow that, but that's what's usually acceptable in the industry, is 80% of what's normal. You can have a minimal crack there. But yeah, as this develops, we're not seeing anything there. Like I said, the pits and stuff, they're going to show up because this penetrant does work, and it'll identify a crack. I probably need to go out and grab one of the springs from somebody who uses these every day, but maybe they'll send me some of their videos. Right now it looks like we have no cracks. We're looking it over well. We're videoing it. Someday we'll be able to let AI tell us if the cracks are there, because AI is doing some amazing things. If you're not using it today, start. It does work wonders. I use it for a lot of things: school, business, and play.